In a moment of flashing lights and blaring siren, her son was hit and killed. The man behind the wheel, IMPD Officer David Bisard.
As far as justice, I mean, when Bisard is behind bars and he's paid, that will be a justice.
For nearly 2 years, Eric Wells' family has been searching for that justice, and today they say they got a piece of it.
It still doesn't bring our son back. Nothing brings him back. I don't care what amount of money.
Tonight, a settlement in the Officer Bisard civil suit. The amount just over $1.5 million to Eric Wells' estate.
RTV6 reporter Tanya Spencer joins us with his family's reactions and how this might affect the other cases pending. Tanya.
Well, Tana and Jen, I talked to Erica Wells' mother in Florida by phone this evening. She says she's glad that the civil case is resolved so her family can now concentrate on the upcoming criminal trial.
The civil lawsuit named Officer David Bisard, the city of Indianapolis, and IMPD. City attorneys say the $1.5 million settlement is not an admission of guilt. But the mother of Eric Wells, killed in that crash nearly 2 years ago, has a different perspective.
Whether the city will admit it or not, it does show that they're taking some kind of responsibility or they would not have settled.
Eric Wells died, and 2 of his friends and co-workers were severely injured when Officer David Bisard slammed into their motorcycles August 6, 2010.
As far as justice, I mean, when Bisard is behind bars and he's paid, that will be a justice. It still doesn't bring our son back. Nothing brings him back. I don't care what amount of money, and nothing will ever relieve the hurt and the loss that we still feel to this day.
Mary Mills and Kurt Weekly are also jointly suing the city. Gary Miller, an attorney and former prosecutor and judge, says the settlement with the Wells family is probably good news for those plaintiffs. As for the criminal case, Miller says the civil cases won't have an impact on Bisard's criminal trial directly, but may influence potential jurors and alter attorneys' strategies.
The fact that a civil lawsuit was settled involving another party is not going to be admissible in the criminal case. On the other hand, the more publicity and more press that gets out, the more possibility there is that somehow it's going to seep into that process.
Now, part of that $1.5 million award in the settlement will go to Eric Wells Memorial Foundation to help underprivileged children in his name. And another charity event, the Eric Wells Memorial Ride, is coming up August 11th here in Indianapolis, and that will raise money for a local homeless shelter. Mary Wells tells me that's all part of keeping her son's legacy alive and helping them continue with their grief process.